Chapter 31 Return to Trigon. Once Dellie and the boys had decided what to do with the Solarium, all Dellie had to do was execute the plan. Now this in itself wasn't very difficult. After all, Dellie is a fourth dimension being, capable of things we on Earth can barely conceive of, let alone understand. But the plan had one major sticking point. The Trigans had to agree to safeguarding the Solarium. Once again, this could be seen as a fairly inconsequential thing to ask, as no country, let alone organization or individual, had the ability to easily travel to Trigon, let alone locate and bring the Solarium back with them. But it was a situation that needed to be dealt with sympathetically all the same. As Dellie traveled to Trigon, all he could do was loop over the same thing. How do you start a conversation like the one I have to start with Jean? Would it be a, "Hi Jean, how do you fancy looking after this most dangerous substance for me?" Perhaps leave out dangerous. Yes, definitely leave out dangerous. And try unexplored. Yes, unexplored material. Or perhaps even unknown. No, that's no good. It'll sound like Dellie doesn't know what it is, and that could be terrible. As the hundreds of thousands of kilometers sped by, Dellie came to one and only one conclusion. He would have to just tell Jean what Solarium was, what it meant for the Trigans to keep it safe, and more importantly that no one, and that meant no one, should access it other than Dellie, Graham, or Bouncer. Yup, it would be hard, but it would be the truth. With Trigon at its closest to Earth for some time, it would be a few million miles less than his last trip, but still a ways to go. Dellie decided to cheat a little and partially engaged his warp engine. It would only give him around 5% light speed, but that in itself was 33,521,760 miles per hour. And with Trigon around 34 million miles away, that would mean in a little over an hour, and he'd be landing. As Dellie's ship touched down, Jean came out to greet him. "Dellie, how are you, my friend?" "I am very well, Jean, but I need to ask you and your people a favor?" "Of course, come with me and let us get comfortable." They both moved into the lava tubes and on into the city, where the council buildings rose majestically from the cave floor towards the cathedral-like dome of the lava tube high above their heads. "Everything is looking excellent, Jean. Well done on running such a tight community." "Thank you, Dellie. We do what we can to keep things moving forward uniformly. We don't want to leave anyone behind, so to speak." "No, I know what you mean," replied Dellie. "Now what is this difficult thing you ask of us Trigans, Dellie?" "Well, a substance has been found on Earth that has great power once extracted and refined. They are calling it Solarium. It can offer many great technological advances with managed properly." "Okay, but how does this affect us, Dellie? Do they wish to use it against us?" No, of course not. Due to its great power, there are people of Earth who want to use it for purposes that are not for the greater good of mankind. So I, Graham, and Bouncer have taken it from Earth and brought it here to ask you and your people to safeguard it for us." "Yes, of course, Dellie, we Trigans will do what we can. But what exactly is that?" "Well, all that is required is for me to drop the Solarium I have on board off in the remotest and least used lava tube cave you have access to, then basically let everyone concerned forget about it." "Well, this we can do, Dellie," said Jean with a smile. "Thank you, Jean, thank you very much." "Our pleasure. Now let us party tonight to celebrate prior to work tomorrow." "You won't find me arguing with that, Jean," smiled Dellie. With that, the party started. Pretty much all of the main city turned out to celebrate what most thought was simply Dellie's return. Only a select few knew of the Solarium and its imminent storage on their home world, but for now it was simply a party. Come the morning, Jean escorted Dellie to the place they had chosen to store the Solarium. It was about 2 hours' travel from the main Trigon-occupied lava tubes and was considered to be both far away enough to be safe while still being close enough to be easily monitored. Once Dellie had deposited the Solarium and sealed the entrance, he once more thanked Jean and the Trigon people. "Thank you again, Jean. Your kindness and generosity will not go unmentioned on Earth," stated Dellie, proud to be friends with such honorable people as the Trigans. "It is our pleasure to help you, Dellie. Both Graham and Bouncer are excellent friends to Trigon, and we will always try to assist them in whatever way we can." Jean beamed as he talked about the boys. We also hope to be able to remove the Solarium at some point in the future. Unfortunately, we really are not sure when that will be," advised Dellie. "Don't worry, Dellie, it will be safe here, we promise." And with that, Dellie waved, turned, and walked to his ship in order to return to Earth. He may just reduce the warp engine on the way home so he could get some sleep. It seemed to have been a very busy week. As he sat in the command seat and engaged the flight systems, he looked down on Jean waving back at him, tipping the wings as he flew off as a wave goodbye. Within 5 minutes he was in orbit and awaiting the transit burn window for Earth return. About 30 seconds after the flight systems confirmed course and arrival time, Dellie slumped in the command chair soundly asleep.